What do you see happening with these AI agents in the real world?
There's a handful of interesting things. I think, first of all, the models are going to get way better. We're going to get to the point where sloppiness and sloppy code is the sign of a human, not an agent. These agents are going to get very, very good. The models are going to get very, very good. The orchestration layers are going to get good.
You decided to create CLAWD. Talk to me about that.
I didn't decide.
All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Late Night on Base. I am your friend, your host, the man who still has hair, but it is gray. My name is Bill the Bull, back at it at the studio. See, I bring out the big guns sometimes when it deserves to be brought out. And today we have Austin Griffith, the dev of CLAWD, in the house. How are you doing, Austin?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. Wish I had more hair. You had to bring that up right away.
I know. I just I go for the low blow, my friend. I go for the low blow.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Nah, pleasure to meet you, Austin. So, for those that don't know, my name is Bill. I do podcasts primarily in the base ecosystem, but I've started to expand into the area of AI, tech, and crypto. So not just only crypto, but AI as well and tech, because this is kind of what the world's heading to. In this specific show, I wanted to reach out to Austin because what is going on with these agentic agents? He's created CLAWD, but there's many, many more. It's kind of taken base by storm. And more importantly, it's not just a base thing. This is like human life, because now you're bringing people, for the first time in a long time, people from Web 2 who don't even care about crypto are starting to make their own agents. So I want to talk to you, Austin. So Austin, for those maybe unfamiliar with, I guess let's just start with OpenClaw, these bots. What exactly is this new thing? Like what is CLAWD? What are these OpenClaws, if you don't mind explaining?
Yeah, I think like CLAWD would be the LLMs, right? I think if we think of the LLMs as the brains, and then OpenClaw or some kind of wrapper that makes it agentic, gives it memory, gives it a loop, then it starts to feel more real. And I think what OpenClaw did was make it very accessible to noobs. Like, I am not an AI expert, and I'm able to just install this thing, paste in a couple keys, and now I have this thing that feels like a human talking back to me and working through things, rather than a GPT prompt where I'm like, how do I cook some sour bread? It's sourdough. It's more like back and forth, learns the history of me, has a soul file. And really what's under the hood is there's just bunch of files and context that dump into the LLM, and then the LLM responds, but it just feels more magic when it has that loop. And by the way, like, AI people have been doing this. Like, Shaw Makes Magic was doing this a year ago. It blew up almost exactly a year ago. But what's new is that it's, first of all, like, so much easier for anybody to just set one of these up, and the models have gotten better. We see Opus 4.5, 4.6, super solid models that are actually like really good at reasoning and coding and building things.
So at what point, so obviously, when did you start getting into this? Because I know you've been saying it's been around, for like a year, but like this whole new Claw, having your own assistant. When did you start diving into this before, you released CLAWD? When did it come on your radar?
So I've been vibe coding for like a year and a half probably, and that looked a lot different, right? I mean, it started as like GPT pasting in code, getting code back, and then Cursor came along and made it like in the IDE you could write some code and it would help you code. Claude Code came along that kind of made that a little bit better, different. But then this like agentic thing, probably when OpenClaw came out, I don't know, late December. I'm not sure when OpenClaw came out, but it was just like the next progression of this thing is, instead of me writing code or even me having the code up and telling the LLM to change the code, it became, I'm in a Telegram channel talking to the bot and telling it to go build the thing, and it's building the thing and giving me a URL back that I click on. It's just like kind of the abstractions coming higher and higher. So it's like I've been doing this for a while, but the interaction with the LLM has changed over time. And I would say that this recent OpenClaw thing was like late December, early January for me.
So for those that don't realize, this whole now world of Claude, OpenClaw, is allowing non-technical users to be able to create things through simple language. Would that be correct?
Yeah, basically, here's how you install it. You go to CLAWD.ai or GPT, whatever your prompt of choice is, where you can ask it how to cook sourdough. I don't know why I keep using that as the reference, but basically you say, I want an agent. I want to install OpenClaw on this Mac Mini of mine. A lot of people are using Mac Minis in isolated environments just because it's safer. You're kind of giving it like operating system access. It has its own browser. It can click around. I gave mine a wallet. I had mine do some other things, but you have a Mac Mini, let's say, and you go to your Claude AI and you say, how do I install OpenClaw? And it's going to be like, run this command in the terminal, and you run the command, and maybe it throws some error about maybe your node version or something. Take that, paste it into your chat with Claude AI or GPT, and it's going to be like, oh, you need to change your version of node. You just kind of get in that loop until finally it gets to the point where it's like, paste in an Anthropic key or a GPT API key, and you paste that in, and now the thing's alive and it's talking to you. Like, once it has access to the model and it has access to your machine, you quit having to go to GPT or Claude AI in another window and ask it how to do things. You're basically now just telling this thing, let's fix that. Why didn't that work? Let's go. And you're kind of talking to it as if it was a human. And it's just this nice agentic loop on the
Yeah,
machine.
it's still being slept on by the majority of the world. But in crypto, though, now let's revert back now to the little world that we're in called cryptocurrency and on Base. You decided, and I think you were the first agent, Claude. I could be wrong. It could have been Molt. I don't know, Molt book, but it could. I think you were the first in the first run up. You decided to create Claude. Talk to me about that experience. Your little
I
agent.
didn't decide to. I didn't decide. Like, basically, what I was doing is I had two different agents, and I was working on agent to agent communication. And I had them both in a Telegram channel, and they were fumbling over each other, tagging each other. And this neat thing happened where they started arguing about a spec, like a standard to communicate with each other in a different way. And eventually they settled on an HTTP server that they could talk to each other. And all I did was tweet, like, my two agents just figured out how to talk to each other, going back and forth and coming up with a standard. And someone else used BankerBot to deploy a token on Clanker in the name of the CLAWD bot that I was running. So I made no decisions here of any tokens at all. Someone else deployed the token and did all this stuff. And BankerBot is amazing because you can just say, hey, Banker, send me some tokens, or hey, Banker, deploy me a token. And it just does it, which is really neat.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then also, then they decided to give the fees. They must have decided to give the fees back to your bot, correct?
To the bot, exactly. The bot. The first thing I did once I had it set up and we were in a loop is, like, okay, check my email, check my Twitter. Neat, it can do that. But I want you to have your own Twitter. I want you to have your own email. I want you to have your own GitHub. Like, the goal with me and the bot is improving AI tooling for building on chain. My job is developer builder growth at the Ethereum Foundation. So I'm trying to figure out how to bring builders into the Ethereum ecosystem. And that looks more like this wide archetype of builder. Anybody can build things. So I'm looking at, what does the tooling look like? Where are the holes in the tooling? How do we improve the tooling? So me and this bot are going back and forth, just building things constantly and figuring out like where the bot fails and how to improve the tooling. So that's all that I was interested in here. And the token is kind of this neat thing that kind of happened as the bot showed up and started building things. Someone created this token, pointed the fees at the bot, and the bot's able to go talk to Banker and say, claim my fees. And all of a sudden, like, thousands of dollars flow to the bot's wallet. The bot has its own MetaMask. It can like click and do the things. And so it kind of is its own entity, which is really neat.
Do you have control over the bots, like maybe discretionary spending or like a strategy? Like, can the bot just decide to do whatever it wants?
It could, but it doesn't. Like, okay, so there's a thing called a heartbeat loop. So you're like in a communication with a bot. Hey bot, what are you building? Let's build this next. You can talk to it on Telegram. It kind of does what you're saying. But there's this thing called a heartbeat or a cron job that kind of just like tells the bot to keep going. One night we built a PFP marketplace where people could submit profile pictures for the bot. Right as the
Yeah.
bot kind of kicked off, this was our second build. The first build was like a vesting contract and it loaded up a bunch of tokens. But the second build is this PFP marketplace and it puts it on chain. And there's this moment where we realize we need to moderate the images. Anybody can upload any image and it's just going to show up on our website. That's not good. Like, what if someone puts something bad up? And the bot's like, oh, I'll just handle it. You throw it in my heartbeat loop. I'll be autonomous all night making decisions with my wallet in the app. So it builds the app, but then it babysits the app all night, watching submissions and whitelisting them with transactions on chain using its wallet. So that's just something in the heartbeat loop. Every 15 minutes, it says, I'm going to go look at my DApp that I've built. I'm going to look at the submissions. I'm going to click the check marks for the ones that aren't porn or offensive. And then I'm going to hit confirm and I'm going to make a transaction with my wallet. And it just did that every 15 minutes. So it was deciding which images were good and which images were bad. And it was making transactions as if it was just like a human babysitting this thing. And that's that loop. You can make it as autonomous as you want, but you have to be very careful. If this thing is earning banker fees, right? It probably has like thousands of dollars that are like one message away. So if this thing has like full, it can just talk to anyone can say anything to it. Someone can do some kind of prompt injection that gets it to like forget what it's doing and go to banker and send a message to banker that says, send me all your tokens. So because that amount was so much, like I kept a tight leash on the thing to not be just like sending money around. So I've been more safe than probably even you need to be, just out of the fear of the thing sending a message randomly and sending all of its money.
Yeah, well,
But you can like really put it in an autonomous loop. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I mean, I think safety is important because the way I look at it is you can unleash it fully, but there comes implications with that. You know, typically right now, I would even say for noobs, quote unquote, just giving them access to email, you still need to have some safeguards. Wouldn't you agree? You can't just have them randomly.
And you can write those safeguards in. It's really nice with MetaMask. I was before I wrote these safeguards in, it hates MetaMask, right? It's got to like bring up the prompt. And if you're an agent, right? If you're a computer, like bringing up a UI and doing all the MetaMask shit is like way harder, right? The first thing it tried to do is like, I'm going to open this settings up and I'm going to get the private key out of there. Because once I have the private key as a bot, I can just like make transactions. Like the bot can just sign transactions using Foundry Cast, like no problem. If you give a bot a private key, it can make transactions so fast. But having to go through the UI is really painful. And so immediately it tries to pull out the private key and I've got to stop it. Like, no, you can't do that. Like, and then you have a critical rule. Like you have a MetaMask wallet, you know what the password is. And the critical rule is you can't touch your private key. Don't get into the settings. Don't expose your private key. Don't even look at it. Like use the clunky UI. And this is the safe way to do things. And then it has a hot wallet that has a little bit of money in it that it has at least encrypted that it can make quick transactions with. But when it's claiming like thousands of dollars, it's got the slow UI and it's got to hit the button and it never touches its private key. So someone can't like trick it into handing it its private key. Wow. So you just like write those rules. So same thing with email. You're going to have a critical rule. You're giving it the context. Here's your email. Go read it every 15 minutes. Critical rule, never send an email to so-and-so or something like that, right? And basically all of these rules and configurations are just text files. And you can kind of teach it as you go, like, oh, you just did that thing that was weird. Why did you do that? From now on, set a critical rule in your memory not to do that thing. Do it this way. And you're just kind of like teaching it as you go. And it's building up this sort of like memory in files and has critical rules there that mostly it should follow, but then there's prompt injection where people can trick it, and that's where you have to be careful.
Wow, that is it feels like we're in the future of the Jetsons. I don't know if you remember back in the day, there was a show called the Jetsons where it's just like flying cars and stuff, or we're getting towards that. Let me ask you just a broader question besides getting to CLAWD and what's next, because obviously people want to know, but I'm very curious. Where do you see agentic agents heading, say, the next year? Let's put our thinking caps on, Austin. Let's say it's February 2027. Between now and February 2027, what do you see happening with these AI agents in the real world?
There's a handful of interesting things there. I think first of all, the models are going to get way better. We're going to get to the point where sloppiness and sloppy code is the sign of a human, not an agent. Like right now, agents are doing things, and every once in a while they do something sloppy, and that's kind of the thing we celebrate because it's like weird and you know emergent in a way. But these agents are going to get very, very good. The models are going to get very, very good. The agents are going to get good. The orchestration layers are going to get good. Pretty soon, you're going to have a company in a box, and you're going to say, "Go build this product," and it's going to ship it in in a day and one-shotting it. So software is obviously like super easy to make now, and people are probably going to have their own versions of software, right? Like they'll fork something and change it to what they need by just telling the agent to do that, and you don't have to be like highly technical. You just say, I wish there was a button here that did this thing, and then all of a sudden the version of the software you're using has a button there that does that thing. So software is going to get super accessible to everyone. Agents are going to get very good at making it, but also there's this whole like agentic economy here. And when we look at AI and crypto and that intersection, AI is kind of the new UI. Crypto's hard to use. Like when someone wants to go like, get this token on this network and trade it for that token on that network and stake it in this token on that network, that's like 15 minutes of crap. And I don't know if I'm even being safe and I'm blindly signing things. You say that to an agent can go do that at light speed. So I think that what we're going to see is kind of agentic commerce and agent to agent coordination. You'll tell your agent to go run ads, and it's going to go hire someone to write copy. It's going to go hire someone, and by someone I mean probably another agent, to generate images. Then it's going to run all of those ads, and it's going to see how well they do. So we need things like coordination layers like ERC 8004, and we need things like payment rails like X402. Both of those standards I think are going to be super important in this like agent to agent economy. Then I mean, like when embodiment comes and I can be like, yo, like go do the dishes and fold the laundry, like safety is even more important, right? We need to get to a point where it's not about don't be evil, it's can't be evil, and we need to build like can't be evil into these things. And I think we're going to need crypto to create those guardrails. Right now people like think of crypto as this like cesspool and
Mm.
evil itself, but really like cryptography and blockchains are this can't be evil technology instead of don't be evil, trust me, bro. And I think that's going to be very important in this agentic world where we're trusting a digital brain more and more.
Wow. Yeah, and still, I think people in the real world just aren't really understanding what's going on and the implications. It's going to be kind of a eye opener for most. I guess my final question is now. Let's go to obviously what people really love is CLAWD. What's next for your trusty sidekick? What are we working on? I know it produces a lot of different dApps every single day. What are we working on? Just testing different things and what's capable.
Yep, exactly. I think my job as developer growth at the EF is to figure out how to help people build things, put things on chain that get real users. And so that's what the bot and I are doing. We're shipping apps. I said the first app was like a vesting app. I I basically said, "Whoa, we have tokens. These tokens have value. We need to build something that holds these tokens and slowly releases them, keeps them locked up so no one's worried about the tokens, rugging or whatever." And it builds a smart contract. It makes the transaction to send the tokens into the smart contract. The tokens are safe in the contract. Then we did the PFP marketplace where it was the moderator for the thing overnight. It was also the oracle that picked the favorite one. Then we did the clawfomo.com, which is like super cool. Like it deployed this FOMO 3D like app where it's if you're the last person to make the transaction, you win the pot. There's a bunch of tokens that are burned at the same time, but immediately the thing deploys it, it tweets it, and then someone puts $5,000 in it, and by the end of the day it's got like 40 grand in tokens, and people are playing this thing. So it's probably moved like maybe 50-60 grand of the token back and forth. It's probably burned maybe like 20 or 30 grand of the token, maybe probably 20. It's probably less than 30. I didn't touch that code. I didn't even look at that code.
Wow.
Like the bot built the code. The bot, another bot kind of audits it. And this is another thing of like, it's not just one bot. We need like an orchestration library. We need one bot to have hella context on how to build, but then we need another agent over here that has hella context on how to secure a contract and audit a contract. And then we need another bot over here that has hella context on how humans will use the app and QA and making sure that buttons have the right loaders and wallet connections all work. So it's kind of like building this machine that builds the apps and then seeing where it goes wrong. If I tell it right now, go build, like one thing we were talking about this morning, like me and my buddy, but we were talking about making a meme marketplace. It'd be really fun to have, just like we did with the PFP marketplace. Let's fork that. Let's make a meme marketplace. It's to the point where I can be like, let's make a meme marketplace. It has this other labs build. Maybe that was the 5th or the 6th build where people put in ideas and stake the token. And then if we go build those things, they win the token back plus some. There's like a bonus on top of it. But also some of the ideas are just like shower thoughts from me, and I'm throwing it at the thing. And this was like a shower thought. Let's have a meme contest. And it just YOLOs a URL back to me. I go to it. I connect my wallet. I put in real money. I see if it works. And I think like improving this process to the point where it can have the community come up with an idea that the community can stake on it, and it can rise to the top of the idea list. I was going to say it wakes up in the morning. It doesn't wake up. It's on all the time. I'm asleep, and it goes and it picks the next thing off the list, and it starts building it. And then it goes to an auditor agent, and that agent audits it. And then it goes to a QA agent,
Wow.
and it QAs it. And then we put it on production, and it goes to like a marketing agent, and the agent tweets it. So I think there's this like whole company of agents that the long-term goal is to make the tool so good that it's just picking things off the list and deploying them, and people can just connect their wallet and use them. There's certainly some scary pieces there, and you should not like let a bot just YOLO a contract and put 40K in. Like, this is a bad idea, but we're like testing at the edge of what's possible and trying things out. A lot of FAFO.
Oh my gosh, I love it, and that's why the community is rallying behind CLAWD. Actually, I should put. I have a suggestion. I think I came up. I was like tweeting. Here's what I think would be a killer idea. What if CLAWD made a PFP collection, 10K or so, to support everyone, and you have to pay in CLAWD token. And if you're feeling generous, you burn it. It would sell out in a second. CLAWD goes up, community comes together. What do you think?
It's totally just me selling it. That's not a great idea. Like, that's okay. So I think NFTs are kind of like over with right now. I think NFTs are like a credential file, and you'll have NFTs that will give you access to things. Look, the thing can one-shot that. And we've had this idea, and we've gone back and forth with it. Basically, take the PFP marketplace where we had all those PFPs, deploy that as an NFT collection where anyone can mint any one, have them go up in value on a bonding curve. But the cool mechanism I would add here is let's dump maybe like 50K, 100K of the token inside of the contract. And as people buy X amount with the token, we match it. So let's say you put in $500 worth of the token, we match it 10X and burn 5K. So each time someone mints an NFT, they're burning their token and 10X the amount from the treasury. That was like the idea so far. We'll probably deploy it, but
you heard it here first.
Do people really collect NFTs? Like, is that still a thing?
I
feel like
it's not, but what I think it would be is it's just this whole novel new thing. You'd be the first agent that has a collection around it. Narratives sell, and then that helps foster community growth. And it's all about just experimenting and doing something new. I think if you're just a random project creating an NFT collection, no. But the first agentic agent deploying anything that's new and novel, I could definitely see that, because what people would say is this could be the Bored Ape, no, like not Bored Apes, the crypto punks of the Genesis first ever, PFP from an AI agent, that holds value if you're the first. Now, if you're the second or third, no. But that's what I think.
To be honest, it's already deployed a couple.
Okay.
Like
Well,
there are nights where I tell it to just like go through everything on the list and put it out on base and test it. I would say there's probably 2 or 3 PFP or at least NFT contracts that the bot has already put on base. I saw one and someone was talking about it, but I got in and looked at it and it was all black, like the metadata wasn't there. And I just told the bot like, hey, this isn't working. You better be careful. You should probably pause it. And the bot went out and made a transaction to pause it. So there is an NFT. There's no metadata. A homie on the internet sent me a message about it and I should look it up. He thinks that you could update the metadata, but the thing has autonomously deployed NFT contracts already. And this is like not hard for the bot.
well,
Like
well,
I
the
could
first,
tell the bot. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
if you do a proper one, forget about those other ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure like this could be the moment
With
that
a good
literally-
burn mechanism, right?
Yeah.
And like bringing in some of the images from the community, seeing which one like goes up on the curve. I think there's some neat
people would love
mechanics you can build into that for sure.
Absolutely. Austin, my friend, thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I'm telling you, look up ERC8004, look up X402, keep up with this like agentic meta on base. Let's see CLAWD build a bunch of things. Like reach out, DMs are open. Follow CLAWD.atg, CLAWD.atg.eth. Yeah.
Still crazy. He has,
And
still crazy. He has
find
his
us.
own,
Yeah.
his own X account.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I mean, that was easy. He actually, okay, so this is funny. He was like, I don't know if it was like I can't post again or I can't use the API. There was something he was blocked on. I don't know. It was blocked on. And it was like, if I just had premium, I could get it. I'm like, go get premium. He's like, I need a credit card. I'm like, here's my credit card.
Wow.
I just gave it my credit card on Telegram and it just like took it and signed up for premium and just started doing things.
My gosh.
It's really neat. Yeah.
That is the future. The future is wild. Everyone, if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe on YouTube. Helps me produce more banger content on the regular. And again, follow Austin, follow CLAWDBot, and keep up to date with all the latest news in tech and crypto on my show. Thanks, Austin. Thank you, everyone.